Harcourts Real Estate presents the 2014 South African Show Jumping Championships. The Durban Shongweni Club is located just 20 minutes west from the beautiful port city of Durban. Welcome to Durban Shongweni Club and the magnificent new CLARKE Arena. Richard Gray for Harcourts taking the salute, and the parade led by the gorgeous little Harcourts Real Estate, Davenport's Pinocchio.
Harcourts is incredibly proud to be associated with a prestigious event like the SA National Show Jumping Championships. Every brand wants to attach itself to something that's going to do a lot for their brand, and we feel this is a great opportunity for us to support a wonderful sport. Our brand epitomizes pride, passion and skill. And we believe that's a perfect match with an event of this nature. It gives us a chance to associate our brand with an event like this, which is truly one of the jewels in the crown of the annual show jumping calendar.
Another jewel in the crown is the popular and exciting Grooms Soccer.
We hosted a soccer tournament for all the grooms. There were 4 teams, 1 team from the Cape, a team from Natal, Joburg Team A and Joburg Team B. We had a fantastic evening. It was under the floodlights, and Johannesburg A were the victors ultimately. We just wanted to give something back to the grooms who give so much to the sport, all their hard work and all their preparations for us riders to do well.
Proud of the men who, when they're not actually playing soccer, by choice watch and support the show jumping. These are the guys that really make it happen. The Martin Collins CLARKE Arena is a recent addition to the Shongweni Club, and it creates an environment that is as similar as possible for the first and the last horse in the competition. This magnificent sterling silver trophy, presented by the Royal Agricultural Society of Natal in 1955, is the trophy that all the riders have come to try and win. One rider's name on this trophy stands out above all others.
I'm the only person to have won it 10 times, and the last 3 times I was first and second, and the last time, it's 3 years in a row, and the last time I actually tied for first.
Amazing. And how many people are you helping here this afternoon?
I'm helping 6 or 7 people here this afternoon. Some of them have got 2 horses.
And your opinion of the track?
I was a little disappointed in the first half of it. I thought it was a bit small, but it got progressively bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that the 2 water trays might cause some problem into the last jump, which is a bit of a debatable, either 5 or 6 strides, which I think most of them will opt for 6 strides. I think maybe he'll tighten the time up a bit as well, so I think that it'll take some jumping.
The Some Jumping is presented by celebrity course designer from Portugal, Bernardo Cabral.
The course this year for SA Champs was tougher than last year. Last year, although the level was good, but it was a little easier to catch the riders and the horses. And this year the level is phenomenal. So I really had to be at my best game to be with these guys. And this was really tested. I think it's the most testy course I've built in South Africa. And the last line, very difficult, but solvable. A very scopy triple at number 4, but with the balance I tried to create during the course, getting them forward and a little back and twisting them a little bit, I got my result.
And one of his hallmarks is interesting turnbacks, and he presents combinations out of corners very early on in the track. Part of Bernardo's course is the Harcourts water jump, something that is compulsory in the South African Show Jumping Championships. Causing consternation with the riders was the last line, 10, 11 A and B, and 12. This track gets bigger and harder as the course goes on. The top 24 qualifiers for the South African Championship, with number 24 being the top qualifier. So good to see former local boy Jonathan Clark, and he'll be riding Mark and Dijslade's Felix van der Mispelare. Wonderful to have him back at this level of competition. The real form combination sitting at the top end of the field. Grand Prix winner DOMINEY Alexander with Discovery and Joy 68. Top qualifier ENGELA with Chanel van der Zeshoek. Former winner and leading trainer Barry Taylor. How many times have you won this competition?
Unfortunately, only 2 times. I've had a lot of attempts. 9 seconds, I think, in the SA Champs. but I'm still trying.
And you're on a new ride, Counterattack.
Yeah, it's a good horse. He's a young horse. I think he's got the scope to jump this. He's had quite a lot of miles in the smaller divisions. If I'm in the money today, I'll be very happy.
How big does it look?
It looks strong. I personally think it's a big step up from what we jumped on Friday. And remember, it's 2 rounds. The first round's the easy part.
Some great opening jumps from Barry and Counterattack. Starting the treble. And just rubs the back rail, going in for 4 penalties. This horse owned by Quinton and Liesl Jansen, and they're very generous and dedicated sponsors of the sport. This horse, a hot horse, feisty. You see him bouncing there as he turns to the vertical. Barry very good at finessing hot horses. He'll be very keen and scopy, big jumping, kind and brave. Just an ideal horse to have in your string and in your stable. There's another turn back. And now a long canter to a really big triple bar. Horse going slightly sideways. Barry corrects him. Holding 6 to those 2 water trays. That looks tight. And then once again, on the outside line, 6 strides to the last oxer. And Barry, 4 penalties. I'm sure you have mixed feelings, sort of pleased and disappointed. Jonathan Clarke and Felix van der Mispelare. This horse, a recent importation from Belgium. Di Slade saw his head over the door and fell in love. And what a good falling in love that was, because this horse is really talented. He's a winner. Jonathan riding at his smooth best. He makes it easy for horses. He puts them in the right place. He's always at the right tempo. You see Bernardo's treble combination out of the turn early on at number 4. Then you're going to see his trademark turn back. So he takes you into the corner of the arena. And this has an interesting bearing on the competition later on. This horse goes barefoot. It's one of the features of Di Slade's management of the horses and ideally suited for these artificial surfaces. Also, Di Slade travels with fresh grown barley. So it's the most amazing thing. Trays and trays of barley that these horses get to eat. And of course you can see how well Felix looks. Jonathan coming to the end of the track. He's clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strides. And a marvelous clear round from what is going to be a new talent on the South African show jumping scene. A very thrilled, puffing, relieved Jonathan Clarke, no longer a smoker.
The indication, ladies and gentlemen, our first clear round of the competition. Of the Harcourts Show Jumping Championship of South Africa.
Now, the reigning South African champion, the remarkable Nicole Horwood. The very beautiful Capital Don Camarco. This horse owned by Henning Pretorius, the Capital stud based between Pretoria and Johannesburg. This horse jumps with wonderful form and is highly in demand back in Belgium. His sire, Kamano, is deceased and in fact in his last years was not fertile, and there have been requests for this horse to go back to Belgium to breed. Happily, he's staying here with Henning. Henning sent his other stallion, Colnado. Nicole jumping her usual precise round. Super through the treble. Very good body control. You see her turning tight in case of time. A real professional mother of 2. Jumps the equipage oxer and looks to her left to go to number 10, realizes she's made a mistake and turns back. That will have cost her some time penalties. Also, break in concentration, loss of rhythm. Very expensive. Picks up a poor distance to the triple bar and the horse stops. So 4 penalties. And her hopes of winning the South African Championship this year are dashed. Being the pro she is, she'll gather everything together. Jumps that so easily. Gets that right. And super to the last. But it's over for her. 7 penalties, a very expensive round for Nicole Horwood. She must be feeling bleak as she leaves the arena on what was last year's South African champion.
Discovery Enjoy 68 is by Escudo.
And now the man who won one of the fastest Grand Prix earlier in the week in qualifying for the South African Championship, Dominic Alexander. He brought this Hanoverian in fairly recently from Germany. Dominic says the horse is hot. Now he's that smooth and that good and that structured, you don't even get to see that barely. Beautiful balance down that line. You'll have realized by now that the first part of the track is sort of gets you going, warms you up. It's not where the challenges lie. The challenges start from here. And the Harcourts water jump not causing too many problems.
Settle down.
Bernardo Cabral's turnbacks, they cause a loss of rhythm, shortening of stride. Definitely a major test and a fairly new innovation in modern show jumping. Horse shortened so well. And a really good clear round from an obviously delighted Dominic Alexander, having such a form show. Nicholas Riley wearing her trademark pink helmet. That's her concern over breast cancer. Nicola already has a clear under her belt with Sunny Park Stables El Paso. Quite exceptional that a rider goes and buys 2 young horses in Namibia and winds up with both of them as top successful Grand Prix show jumpers. Nicola down here at Shongweni with a remarkable 9 horses, 5 in the open arena and 4 in the back arena. Where she finds the energy, it's hard to imagine, and she must be as fit as a butcher's dog. Very hard working, mother of 2. She has an older son and a younger daughter, obviously a very forgiving partner who allows her the time and the freedom to come show jumping all over South Africa. And now the last line, and she's clear. Big triple bar where Nicole had a problem. Easy there, beautifully out. And a really good clear round from Nicola Syme O'Reilly. Delighted but calm.
23, Clyde Z, Sean Neil for Delman Mining and Civil.
Sean recovered this year from an injury that he sustained at work. He ripped his Achilles tendon off. He's been very diligent about the recovery and the rehabilitation. He's been in the hyperbaric chamber and he did not set foot on a horse until it was right. It's great to see him back on such remarkable form. This horse brought in by the Van der Bergs. He acquired it from them as a younger horse. He's done, of course, this really good production job. The horse is going in milder bitting, so there's less bitting in the horse's mouth, and that's really an indicator of Sean's schooling and control. Watch his method. Keeps his body very upright, compresses the horse, and then asks the horse very strongly. As good a horse as this is, I would be sure this is not every rider's cup of tea. But for Sean, it makes magic. One would be forgiven for saying that Sean's a Johnny-come-lately. He barely show jumped as a junior, now 29-year-old. It's hard to think he's only been in the show jumping game for about 11 years. To think of what he's achieved, remarkable. Here comes a clear, and it is. Clear round, Sean Neil, Clyde Z. So only 5 combinations clear after the first round around this Bernardo Costa Cabral track. Shongweni very organized at keeping the track in perfect condition with the grooming between rounds. but there are 5 riders on 4 penalties who are still very much in contention. First of those to jump is going to be DION Boardman and Tannick Hume.
We move to number 2, Tannick Hume. DION Boardman had 4 penalties in round 1.
DION owns this horse. He's a professional farrier in Johannesburg, very hard-working man, very much in demand, and he's done a remarkable job with this Dutch import, this son of Voltaire. This horse is tense and difficult, big and strong. It's entertaining to observe that DION spends his day at the show walking around with an Italian greyhound and a little rescue dog, and one is convinced that these are babe magnets. This second round is definitely a test of stamina. The horses don't necessarily remember the track. They will certainly recognize elements of it. Now 4 left to go, and he's clear in this second round. You can see Tannick Hume being strong, pulling him. Good jump over that vertical. Big ride at that. He goes down there on 5 strides. That's something of a gamble. And the same again to that, and delivers a most wonderful clear round. He will be delighted. Clear in 4 over 2 rounds in the South African Championship. That could see him get a little bite of the prize money. 4 penalties from round 1. Top qualifier, Discovery's JEANNE ENGELA.
My horse feels really on form. It's her first big show back in the arena after quite a lengthy break. So she's feeling great. The course looks testing enough. I think you're going to need to have your wits about you to jump around, a clear round around here.
This lady really is Miss Cool. The weather has changed. It's got colder and you can see the wind blowing. The cool weather suits the horses, but the wind definitely stimulates them, probably not in an ideal way. Good ride to the treble. And she'll be wanting very much to go clear in this round to try and stay in at the shakedown. Jeanne holds down a full-time job and rides this mare either very early in the morning or late in the evening, sometimes, I think, with an absence of light. Quite remarkable efforts and disciplines that these riders undergo to be at this level of the sport. Slightly wide there, but I think her pace is good, so she won't be on time penalties. Time does not seem to have been one of the problems of this South African Championship. Six strides again. And the 6 strides again. And she's clear. A super clear round. So 2 combinations on clear in 4 over 2 rounds in the South African Championship. A very focused Nicola Syme Riley. If she can go clear again, she'll take the lead at this stage in the competition. And then anyone who follows her must also go clear to take her to a jump-off. She had this horse at one stage in a hackamore. That's a bitless arrangement. She's now riding him in a Nath American slide gag with a single rein. So the horse has a nylon mouthpiece. Lots of horses favor this artificial mouthpiece. It's softer, it's kinder. And then the gag action puts a little bit of pressure on the pole and in the corners of the lips. It's a very interesting, sophisticated bitting arrangement, and it's rather a kind one. The horse hot, but she holds him off that vertical. Big ride to the Harcourts Real Estate Water. Forward to that oxer. And now the end of the course in sight. She settles him in the corner. Now let's see what Nicola does from the triple bar to the double to the last oxer. Once again, count with her. 1, 2, 3. Now in the short 6. Yes, super, a double clear, the first double clear of the South African Championships 2014. A delighted Nicola Syme Riley, finally allowing herself to smile. Well, here's a young man that can handle pressure. Jean-Neil Clydesy. He knows he must go clear to take NEILL to a jump-off. The horses have jumped the first round. They've got the long second round to go. This really is a test of jumping. I guess in Europe, such a competition would take place over the whole day. First round in the morning, a lunch break, second round and jump-off in the afternoon. We don't always have that luxury of time here. Good through the treble. Shortens the horse afterwards. There you see Shaun's strength and the horse's obedience. If you watch carefully, you'll notice how often the horses flick their ear back to the rider. Definitely a sign that they're paying attention to the rider's commands and instructions. This horse wearing those navy earmuffs, and there to filter out some of the wind and some of the noise. These being flight animals, noise is very, very impactful on them. Let's count. 1, 2, yeah, he was off that triple bar. That gave him space here. There it is, 2 double clear rounds contesting the Harcourts Real Estate South African Show Jumping Championship 2014. What a great competition.
We come down to a two-way jump-off.
The order in which they qualified impacts. NEILL goes first in the jump-off. She knows she's got Shaun behind her. He's deathly fast. She cannot hang around. She's under pressure. Super flowing ride in the first 2 fences. She turns tight, keeps trying to gallop, tackles this big vertical, and pays the price and has it down. She must stay as quick as she can in case Shaun also has a rail. But on the other hand, she may have just handed him the South African Championship. She keeps running, turns tight there inside that CK Aerial Surveys obstacle. 2 to go. Big open jump over the oxer and keeps on flowing forward to this last very fragile panel, but clears it.
Sunny Park Stables Connoisseur had the 4 penalties at the time of 44,71.
Shaun Neil. He only has to jump clear to beat NEILL. If he has a rail down and goes slowly, she could be the winner. What has he decided to do? Beautiful jump over the opening triple bar. And it looks like he's gambling on going clear. Steady to this vertical that NEILL hit. Yes, he's not risking a rail down. He's gambling on being able to stay clear. Now sets up for the double. Clears it with a big jump out. He goes round there where NEILL went inside, so definitely clear what his tactics are. Here's the second to last, and it's now just the panel between him and the title. And clears it beautifully. And there is the 2014 Harcourts Real Estate South African Show Jumping Champion. An absolutely delighted Shaun Neil. Bernardo Cabral and his team very happy with the outcome and the results. Shaun Neil is the 2014 Harcourts Real Estate Show Jumping Champion of South Africa. Runner-up is Nicola Riley with Sunny Park Stables Connoisseur. Joined third going to DION Boardman, Jonathan Clark, Nicola Riley, Dominique Alexander and Jeanne ENGELA.
We're running an event inside an event here called Ride for a Cause, where the winner of the South African National Show Jumping Championships will be able to nominate a charity of their choice, and we'll donate 20,000 Rand from the Harcourts Foundation to that charity.
Harcourt's generous gesture perfectly concludes this prestigious and historical event.
To win SA Champs is, it's a big goal. I think in any rider. Gonda Beatrix has won it. I've won it 4 times, twice on my previous horse Gold Rush and now the second time on Clyde. And it's still an unbelievable achievement. To win SA Champs, it's really good. I thought it was quite technical. Not so much big, especially this last line from the triple bar down to the double of verticals. When we walked it, I walked it as a 5, and then Barry went first, my trainer, and he did the 6, and he said it was better on the 6, and I think it was the right call, definitely. Going into the jump off, you've got to keep your head, and I just decided to myself, if I get a time fault, I get a time fault, but just go very carefully around. It's a very big risk, because if I had one down, then I lost it. But yeah, that's the name of the game, eh?
The 2014 South African Show Jumping Championships was proudly brought to you by Harcourts Real Estate.